of the things I could remember while I was sleeping, she appeared to me and said, "Why did I allow her to die?" I said, "I don't know." The same church my dad told me to take care of, to handle the church as a pastor. Will I now go back to the same church and be stealing from it? After my moms were keeping, the next morning, they broke into the church and they stole. That was 2019 or thereabouts. Before you blame the devil for attacking your family, first of all, blame your ignorance. Yeah. Because when you're not having knowledge of the thing, the price you pay later on becomes heavy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live podcast, another episode of the live podcast, your safe space. Still on the topic unspoken stories of loss and healing, but today with a different guest. So with me here today, I have Sir Elijah Maxwell. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
I'll be glad you honored our invitation.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, to begin this topic, just as the topic implies, stories, unspoken stories of loss and healing. Can you share your story?
Okay.
Because how should I put it? Some parts I mentioned about you, so I believe you've experienced loss, and so I would want to hear from you. I would want everybody to hear your story. So,
Okay. Thank you for this great privilege. Like I said, I'm really honored to be here to actually share a story, my story. Yes. I understand the fact that many are actually going through a lot of challenges, and it's one of the times I've tried sharing the story outside to so many people. I noticed it wasn't actually producing fruits to them, although they're actually going through the same challenge I have actually been through, and I've tried, and I noticed it wasn't having any effect in their life. Instead, they actually look at me and they just smile over it. I know deep from within my heart, I know it's actually not hiding anything. So I had to trust the Lord for how does He want the story to be shared. And I'm sincerely honored that when the call was given, there was a problem within my spirit that, okay, fine, it's actually a time and it's actually a space to share the story, to enable you help others who are actually going through the same challenges, because life on its own, it's a huge lot of that challenge. And the more you act reluctant about it, the more you become ignorant about it. You just keep drowning in that challenge, possibly not seeing a way out. Until you've actually seen who has actually been through that phase to help you out. Yeah, to actually help you out. My story is it's quite a very long story, and I've experienced a lot, both from loved ones. From the worst part of it is both from churches. Yeah, church and so many. But I think I will just share a bit about loved ones, so that when you're going through this phase of life. Now, challenges in life might not necessarily be the one I actually went through. Challenges has different phase, might really not be the one I went through. But you see, when you actually get through that point and you actually notice that families are not really paying attention to you, the church are actually not paying attention to you, definitely have this at the back of your mind that God is paying attention to you. So what you do is relate with God, get to know what is God's plan for you. Because it was a whole lot. I could remember from 2013, that was when I got to have a knowledge of my mom, my immediate mom. I got so much knowledge about her, because though from my growing stage, I could say with all boldness, I actually never enjoyed this presence of a mother. though my mom was around. But this presence everyone has to enjoy that, okay, you have mother around her. And not that she actually never tried showing this love, but she actually tried all her possible best to ensure every of her kids enjoy that presence of motherhood. But there was this factor called sickness that actually held that down for over 13 good years. Yeah, over 13 good years. And one of the, till today, I cannot really tell what is exactly the cause of the sickness. I can't tell. I've actually tried to make search. We've been to a lot of hospitals. There was a period before 2013. 2013 was when she came to Kano. But before then, while the illness began, they took her to the village and she was actually staying in a traditional home where, if you actually go to the village with sick people, there is a special bed they give you under traditional stuff and said, okay, they have remedy to that. And she actually stayed there there was a time she stayed for like 2 years in that place. And there was a time they now took her from Akwa Ibom State. Because I'm from Akwa Ibom, they took her from my local government to Uyo, which she stayed, and getting to a point in time, she got missing for full 3 weeks. Got missing for full 3 weeks, and they were all searching for her, looking for her. And when they now told me, your mom is missing, I couldn't help it. By the mercy of God, by then we were able to be introduced to God, and we know a bit of the miracles God can actually do. So we were now praying. I called friends, please help in praying. And why my dad was actually doing the other findings, please help find my wife, and a lot of this. I felt deeply burdened about my mom, so much burden about her. So as time progresses, to God be the glory, she was found and took her in, because at that point she had this mental issue. Yeah, she can't communicate to you. She can't, but she speaks. So whenever you ask her a question, one of the best things she does, she just say anything. So if you're wise enough, maybe you just pick your answers to response from any of the random things she actually said. Just pick it from that part. And that was how deep she has really been. So we couldn't communicate that fluent with her. Because the more we tried to, okay, mommy, this is it. She wasn't able to communicate. Not until one of the days I traveled home, 2015, to actually meet with her, where they actually kept her. And as soon as I entered the place, by the mercy of God, we were already burning for God so much. So as soon as we got into the place, I saw my mom. First time I saw deep tears dropping out of my mom. She was asking after my last born. I said, okay, what of Abraham? Did you guys come with him? I said, sure, Abraham, come and see your mother. The priority of every mother is their last child. No matter what, they so much cherish that child. No matter how stubborn that child is, their mommy's pet. Now brought him. She was so weeping deeply, but yet she couldn't speak. So the only way she could express her feelings at that point was through tears. And I left there, I couldn't stay. After a while, I now brought her to Kano, took her to different hospitals, a lot of different hospitals. And when she came to Kano, we were praying for her. We could manage to take her to church, where my dad was actually worshiping as a pastor. Took her to church and she stayed. She was in church, and a lot of assignments. If you're from my tribe, definitely my people actually are so much endowed with good assignments. So there were a lot of assignments and it wasn't working. Not that God was not existing. God was existing, but what was happening around that period is what we can't tell. So we took her to church, we bring her back. That was the best we could ever enjoy of our mom. And we had to start preparing, and me being the first son, I had to stand in the gap because my dad was very weak. Seeing he has spent virtually everything he had, a lot of money, into a health challenge, and the pastor that isn't working. So what kind of frustration that would literally look like. So he has spent everything he had. So I wasn't working either, but I understand that there were two ways you can actually throw your support, either cash or kind. So I was so much close to my mom that anywhere they want to take her to, have to be there to stay with her, no matter what the challenge is. So that was one of the ways I actually want my dad had to myself. But I was a bit street boy before giving my life to Christ. Though he never believed when they said, okay, your son is now doing most of all these things. So when I was doing that, he now believed me and now won his heart, and we're now all good, so much good. So on the long run, one of the last things I knew I could remember was after she was recovering, and I noticed she now had a cracked bone. She was sleeping. We took her to a place where they pressed her legs, tried to draw her legs, and a lot of these things. You see, I do tell people these things. You see, before you blame the devil for attacking your family, first of all, blame your ignorance.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you're not having knowledge of a thing, the price you pay later on becomes heavy. Yeah. So when we noticed my mom was sleeping and wasn't having so much strength, one of the things my dad did was taking her to not an hospital, taking her to one of all these random people who draw legs and a lot of that. All these, around one local place and that they were drawing and they were not seeing what they were drawing until they actually lingered for a very long while. Not until they took her to the hospital. When they now noticed and now took her to the hospital, it was already worse than the way it was before. Yeah, it was already worse than the way it was before because she had this injury on her thighs, something around this part. And when they took her to the hospital, one of the first things the doctor discovered was a broken bone. A broken bone. I saw the bone. Yes. I saw that bone. And so one of the ways God actually appeared in the scenario was when my dad was shown that, okay, this is what your wife is going through. There's a particular bone that is broken around that side and she needs to undergo an operation. So the doctor gave her an estimated price. This is what you're going to be paying. And to be honest, that man had no dime. If he had a way of selling all his kits to get his wife saved, he would definitely do that. So while he was leaving the hospital, a man just passed him and went to the doctor, had a conversation with the doctor. Before my dad gets a bike pushing his innocent wife home, they called him that, okay, sir, please come. The whole bill have been settled, so they can go on with the operation. I was like, Jesus, I couldn't believe that. It was till date, I've not seen the person. The last time my dad saw the person was that very day the person settled the bill.
And you don't know the person?
Till tomorrow, I don't know the person. And in as much as she was still at that hospital, the person keeps sending funds, keep helping her. So they were able to operate her, do a lot of work on her. But still, that place was still lingering. So after we took her from there, we had to take her to another hospital. Now, that one they took her to was an orthopedic hospital that specialized on bones and all that. So after then, we now took her to another general hospital. They checked her for 3 weeks. We had been there. Being in the hospital for 3 weeks, the kind of sickness you went with to the hospital, there's every possibility that another sickness will still hit you because of the hospital environment. So they were treating this one, another was coming up. And could you believe that all of what she was going through, they said it's only malaria. Yes.
The bone problem inclusive.
I don't know. The bone, we've handled that one at the orthopedic hospital. So I health-wise now, they said it was malaria. And I said, why not provide net and all that? So let's see why they're still making such. So for now, let's treat malaria. We tried treating malaria. Malaria wasn't responding to treatment. We now took her to another hospital. There was a time we took her midnight, late at night. I had to call my friend. Bro, how you did? You don't sleep. He said, no, I've been come carry mom to go hospital. We now took her to the hospital, me, him, and my dad. When we went to the hospital, they still run a test, say it's malaria. So malaria cannot take someone's sanity away. Malaria cannot keep someone in so much of this pain. Because the best way she could express herself was through tears and groaning. And I saw that a lot. I couldn't help it. You cannot speak to her that she gives you proper response. Whether through tears or groaning. So the best, she was like, a lot of those times. And it actually pains my heart staying around the hospital at that point. So I had to, most times we'll leave. So when I took her, after the second hospital, when I took her to a general orthopedic hospital, wealthy orthopedic hospital. Okay, fine. Now we can actually get a cure for her. At least first and foremost, when she starts to walk. When she now start walking, we'll now find means to attack the other one they were saying.
Someone sitting in one place, or was she lying down all through?
She was lying down all through.
Something else.
See, that one of the parts that actually wicked me was there was a period at the hospital that where she actually had that surgery and that bone was seen. The place now became very mighty, very big.
Open?
Yes, very open. That if the doctors come to treat her, one of the things they treat is they have this wool, this big wool wrapped in. On that side alone, heaven bearing witness and line out. On that side alone, they have more than 10 wools, very big, put into that place. I asked why
it was open.
Yes, very open, deep. Very open and deep. Now they were putting those wool, very big wool, like you know wool, all these bandages you're using. They will now treat the wool, now packed all of them and put inside. After putting it, they will now seal it. Now, why they were doing that was to enable one part of her bum actually to be balanced with the other one. Now, while they were treating that part, another one occurred at her back.
Another hole?
Yes. No, a very big pin.
Saw
at her spinal cord, a very long one. From like the starting here to the very end. Where that saw. So they were treating that, they were treating the other one. I noticed what pain could be defined as. Seeing my mom go through all of that, we had to get a bed, orthopedic bed, and a lot of that. We got a lot of it. We keep spending. And the more the thing keep increasing, God helped us. There's that same man that actually helped us before. He came back and was standing by us. The best the man was doing was sending funds for us to assess that. Yeah. So not until after a very long period of time, after being ill for more than 13 years, around 2019, November 31st, if I'm not mistaken, starting November 31st, we were called upon that she actually gave up the ghost. She couldn't bear the pain, and it was deep. It was so much deep, and I couldn't hold it up. Although a kind of relationship we had with God was, at that point, God could actually speak to us about what will happen next. And I told most of my friends, please, let's keep praying for my mom. Not until an elderly woman called me and said, your mom is actually going through a lot. And one of the reasons she's still surviving is that prayers have been made. Because there's literally nowhere I go to that don't present her name for prayers. Everywhere I go to, I presented her name for prayer. So then I said, okay, allow the Lord to do his will. Which you know, okay, fine. Lord, if your will is for her to define, if your will is for her to come rest with you. So whatever pleases the Lord. And that fateful morning, we were called upon. I was in the field playing soccer, having an intention that I would be going back to the hospital that day because I was the one taking care of her. They now called us. The doctors wanted seeing us. So when they called us, whenever a doctor called you and said, come, want to see you, meet me in my office, you now know that the story is two. Either, okay, congratulations, or you have to pay something, some of that, or sorry, you lost your patient. So that's all. So after a long while, a few months later, same month, my younger sister, but I have a younger sister, we are 5 in our family.
Sir, before you proceed, how old was your mom and how old were you at that time, all of those incidents?
My mom was 49 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, because I actually printed her biography and I made search of how old she was. 49 years old, and she was looking very young, like 30.
Very.
And beautiful. Having 5 children already at that stage. Okay. So I should be around 21, thereabouts. Well, I can't really get the full age. No, I should be more than 21 because this year, December, I should be 29. So if that calculation is made properly, you can actually discover my age. It's an ultimate search for age.
Okay. So you were talking about your sister before
Yeah, my younger sister. Now, I think I was saying something about she, at that age, before we were actually giving birth to, she had a lot of miscarriages and a lot of challenges from her own end. Because it was while I grew up and went through all of these challenges, we were now told that my mom had actually been going through a series of challenges before we actually been giving birth to, because I had an elder sister who died at the very age of 5.
5 years old?
5 years old.
Was she ill?
Well, that's one of the things I can't tell. But I just knew.
No idea.
Yes. By around 5, being 5 years old, I should be around 3 years. So I can't really But I could remember a scenario happened that we lost someone and we had a lot of people coming to our house. Then, while we were staying at Dora,
Okay.
yes, before we actually packed into Kanu, another of my siblings were giving birth to. We were 5 of us before we now lost my younger sister. Shortly after we lost my mom, we lost my mom around November 31st. Yeah, lost around November 31st. On a Saturday morning, it was a sanitation day. I could remember vividly. We were called upon, come to the hospital, and I called most of my trusted friends that I know could actually keep me company. We rushed to the hospital, we saw our corpse. The hospital and doctors, everyone sympathized with us, and a lot of it, we took her to the mortuary. And not quite long, that December, my younger sister was caught up with a sickness that till today, we can't really tell how come that sickness. Yes. Yes. So how come that sickness came about? A young lady of about 20 to 21. Yeah. A young lady of about 20 to 21.
Yeah.
Actually, I had 2 kidney damage. Not 1. 2 whole full kidney damage. Yes. Not quite long from when we lost my mom and my dad and my younger sister. Yeah. So while we were trying to fight that, it was another series of challenges. We went through thick and hell at that period. And the funniest part of all of this was she was the breadwinner. Forget firstborn. No look firstborn. Firstborn, never see bread before your uncle winner. So she was the breadwinner of the house, and she was a bit more supportive to my mom financially. She was working in the supermarket, and she had friends who were actually supporting her. And she had a lot. She was so much concerned about the family. That was a mother figure. And you see, when I say I do most of those things, I was ashamed of myself most times that I couldn't tell people that was my younger sister. But in as much as she was doing those things, she wasn't concerned if she had an elder brother or not.
And she still gave you respect.
Surely, I had every bit of the respect I needed. She was one of the names she actually called me. That's till tomorrow. This name still rings bell in my heart. Akwana Max. That's the first son of Maxwell. And she is the only person who can pronounce the name with so much joy. And whenever she pronounced the name, I know she's telling me, you have a responsibility. Work on it. You are the first son. Work on it. A lot of it. After the first challenge, when I get to love her the more was when she was now ill. I loved her before, but there was this increase in loving her. Was when one of the days after we lost my mom, I was like, okay, God is no more interested in our kids and a lot of that. I was now playing one secular song. She now looked at me and said, then she was still ill. She now looked at me and said, you don't backslide. And I said, no, God forbid. We now laughed. She said, which song they sing like this? Until tomorrow, anywhere I get to hear that song, it's a memory of her. Anywhere I get to hear that song. Most of the times when I'm deeply depressed and I'm missing her, I'll just rush and look for that song. It's a very calm song. Very calm song. I really can't remember the song now, but if I actually pick my phone and make a search of one of the guy's song, very calm song. Just play the song and listen to the song, and tears will be dropping off my eyes. She told me, you were living the track. You were living the track. And seeing that you are the only hope I'm having, pray for me. I don't want to die. Those were her words that actually helped, that actually pushed me. And I got back to my feet. I swore I'm never playing those musics again. Ever. Picked up every year and there, rushed her to the hospital. As of December, it was a bit fair for her because she was actually still managing to walk. When we got to January, it was becoming severe. We went to the hospital. They now said she's looking pale, she needs blood. And they now checked. They now said 2 of her kidneys are damaged. And I said, Jesus, how comes? How comes? A very young girl doing very well, doing very extremely well. She was not a drug addict. She wasn't smoking. She wasn't drinking. She wasn't doing any of those things. She's one of the decent lady, I think, around my vicinity. I can actually tap hand on my chest and say, this one is different from every other. If you like it, don't agree with what I said, go and make the findings yourself. Yeah, that was how well she was. That while she was ill, a lot of people contributed to her surviving. Like a lot of people tried putting their effort to ensure she actually survives. That one guy from Sabungari just saw a picture, made a pose of her. Someone from outside country, footballer, noticed, asked how much is the operation for the kidney. They told him the amount. He paid every single dime of it that the lady.
What was her name?
Her name was Magdalene Maxwell.
I think I came across that picture on
If
social media.
that period where we lost her, she became the most talked person on social media.
She was everywhere.
She was everywhere. A lot of people came to the house, and a lot of crying. So I really don't know what to say at that point, because who I want to go there encourage when me I need encouragement. So someone came, supported, they should take her for operation. And that time we were having these corona issues.
Yeah.
That was when corona began.
True.
Began its effect upon everyone upon Nigeria. Like the hospitals were now scared. They're now waiting for corona to be over before they now fly out to Abuja and take up the operation.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their complaints was, okay, who is the donor? Who is going to be donating a kidney for her? I said, well, you're looking for a donor. I donate, I'll give her. You giving her my kidney will make her survive. I will. The doctor looked at me and said, are you serious? I said, yes. I will give her my kidney. We started the process and they were still surprised. I said, yes, she's my younger sister. One of the things that will give me joy is me seeing her alive.
Okay.
Yes, seeing her alive.
Well,
even if it will cost me my life, because they gave me, it's a 50-50 option. I said, no, who cares? She's staying alive is my number one priority. When we get to everyone, I'll tell God, Lord, I beg, see that girl, I beg me she stay. And that's how I want to go and dialogue with God. I beg me she stay. So we started the process, the COVID came in and we couldn't finish it up. We were doing it bit by bit. There are times this hospital will tell you, okay, this department are not open, come tomorrow, come next week. And she was placed on dialysis. And you could know how much dialysis was
very
at
expensive.
that point. Very expensive. And she
Very
does dialysis
expensive.
3 times in a week. 3 whole time in a week. And I take her to the hospital 2 times. Never a day have I ever left her. For 3 months, we were dealing on dialysis. When we started treating her from around ending of February. Because I think I traveled and now one of the mistakes we did, I said something about ignorance most times. And
Yes.
one of the mistakes we did that we allowed that thing lingered long enough
Longer.
and longer, right? That we allow one of those to linger longer was, there was this church they took her to. All these assignment things they took her to. They now dropped her in the church. And that was where she had been sleeping. Most of the times I go to the church midnight, 2 a.m. I'll just stand up from my home. She'll call me. Like when I'm Maxwell, you there? I say, I'm at home. She said, please come over. And I'll go. Okay, open door, make her see my sister at 2 a.m. She called for me. They say, no, they cannot open the door. And
Why?
they didn't.
What were their reasons?
Their reason is, what is attacking her? They don't know who is coming from. And I was telling them, this thing is not spiritual matter. Let's attack this thing medically first before we now start looking for spiritual name to attach to these things. So when the thing persists longer, there was this time that she was convulsing, seriously convulsing. And there was still someone is convulsing and you're still leaving her in church. Alone. So one of the days, okay, I had administration at, is it Gombe? Yeah, I had administration at Gombe. Okay, my dad traveled. So I now said, okay, I should rush and pay attention to the administration because it was a very big university who actually called on me to come for administration and my team, most of my team. While I was ministering, I was still conscious about my sister. As soon as we finished ministering, the next day, as early as possible, I entered the road and I came back to Kano. While I came back to Kano, while I was coming, they called me. When you did this, I said, I did come to church now. I was still on my way from Gombe. I did come to church. They now told me this and that. They asked of my sister. They said they locked her in the church. Her work people left their office. More than 10 of them, wanting burning down that church, went, picked her and took her to the hospital. That was where we began treatment officially. So you see, that's why I said most of the times, most of the things you're ignorant about, if you're not careful, before you attack the devil, first blame your ignorance. Because if you attack the devil just like that, the devil will assume, or the devil will take charge over that you actually don't know what you're doing. And that's one thing about the devil. If you notice, anytime you give the devil, anytime you actually apportion blame on something, okay, since he doesn't have who to apportion the blame on, he takes the responsibility and he becomes the ruler. So anytime a thing happens, you don't blame yourself. You think you are innocent. So I began to blame myself from that standpoint, began to blame the church. One of the things I told the church is, forget the fact that we preach. Fine. Wallahi, if my sister died, I'll burn down that church and there's nothing that will happen. I told them clearly, crystal clear. And I had backup. The best thing I would do is tell two guys from my street, this is it. So they now succeeded in pulling her out of the church because her boss was so much involved in it. He's a white man, so much involved in it. They pulled her out of the church, take her to the hospital. That was where her treatment began. That she stayed in the hospital for full 3 months. Full 3 months, she was on dialysis. Before they now discharged her, she came to the house. We'll now go back to the hospital for dialysis and lots of it. But as God may have his will, on 2nd May 2020, she couldn't bear. I don't know how that's occurred because I was the last. Okay, I'm not the last. My other brother, Joel, was the last person who saw her. But I was together with her at the hospital when she was crying. On a Thursday. She died on a Friday. On a Thursday. She died on a Saturday morning. Because I left the hospital Friday evening to go home, shower, because I was there Thursday, Friday, to go home, shower, come back and stay with her Saturday morning. So one of the things I could remember was they now placed oxygen on her, and she was now feeding through her nose, which she couldn't speak, she couldn't talk. But one of the things I knew she was doing was she was resisting it so dearly. She was shaking, nodding her head.
She wanted talking.
Like she was not, she don't want them to insert that thing on her, both the oxygen. When she was opportune to speak, she now said, this was the same thing that they put on my mom till my mom died. And she don't want to die. I was trying to plead with her. I said, see, this is what they said. Please allow them. She said, if she's dying, she should die like that, not with this thing on her. They had to force her and insert that on her. And well, they were preparing to take her for dialysis that day. And I left the hospital. I landed, didn't take her for dialysis that night. They postponed it till Friday night because they needed blood. She was short of blood and a lot of that. So, like, one of the amazing miracles that happened was I donated blood for both she and my mom. I donated blood for my mom twice within the space of 1 month. Within the space of another 2 months, I donated another blood for my younger sister. I was 3 times session. And when I began to make research, they said, no, the best you can do is you do for one. You do once, and after then you do it the next 6 months. I said, if my blood is what they need to survive, then donated twice with one of the popular teaching hospital around Kano. Did once at the orthopedic they took her to. They took my mom to. That I could remember vividly.
Within the space of
3 months. Yes, within the space of 3 months. I did that. Within the space of 3 months. Now my friends were even more concerned about me. Hope you not fall ill. I say, no. I'm the strength that they need. So I won't fall ill. And my dad was a diabetic patient and was so much concerned about it. Even when I told him I actually donated blood the 3rd time, he broke down and was crying. He said, please, that he don't want all his family to die and leave him. I'm not encouraging that. Me, I'm not dying. I'm not seeing death for me as an option. So after that, from 2nd of May 2020, I was in a place, one of my mentor's house. I was trying to relate the scenarios that is happening when they gave me a call. I should come to the hospital. And my brother that was with her broke down in tears. Was crying. And I knew we lost her. I can't tell how comes. And he told me, they were saying, okay, I should come first. I said, no, tell me what I need to hear. Now told me, okay, you loved Magdalene is dead. I broke down deeply. I couldn't help it. It was as if I should run to the street and Like, my right entire road, made like hit me. Like, we should just, since everybody in the family wants to go. Because she was so much a support system, not just to even to me in personal. Not to me, even to me in personal. Lost her. I couldn't break the news. I now told my spiritual father. The mentor I was with, he now told me, take a deep breath. And one of the things I would do, I would drive you there. He has a car. And that's how he drove me to the hospital. We did all kind of prayers we wanted doing. A lot of prayers. It's when you're in a tight condition, you now know chapters upon chapters you can call if that situation will actually bounce back. People want to pray, they pray. I was short of words. I couldn't say it time. I was the one who accompanied them when they were pushing her to the mortuary. I was so broken, so disheartened. Like, I couldn't express myself at that point. I couldn't say a word. For like weeks, that's how I was.
You were just quiet.
Just quiet. You know what it takes to... If you have someone that is closer to you and you lost that person, even person where they lost money, the last card, get the way they feel. Past person who lost someone there. That was how I was. I couldn't express, I couldn't say a word. We hit on it and we were crying. Even now, I was not now feeling for her again. I was not feeling for my sick dad. He couldn't control himself. He couldn't. I was not so much concerned about him so that he will not at the long run commit suicide. Because that was an option for everybody. For me, it was an option. Yes. It was so much an option. Like the option for me was about 90%.
Committing suicide.
The option for me was 90%. So much 90%. For me, the option was 90%. It gets to this point that we couldn't communicate, and they stole her phone at the hospital and my phone the same time. That was, we haven't handled that part first before we now lost her. Because while our phone was there, we were able to communicate to people who could send phones, who could help. Then someone came to the hospital, stole the phones.
How?
I told you I came back from Gombe. I was tired when they admitted her at the hospital. So I just sat down like this. And I was looking at her. She was telling me, okay, has this person called you from our office? I said, okay, the person is calling. I was chatting the person on phone. And I kept the phone on the table, the desk next to her at the hospital. I just sat like this. I didn't relax up to 5 or 7 minutes. I woke up. She just woke me and said, Afa, I want to ask, where's my phone? And I turned and looked. There was no phone.
Was the door to the hospital open?
It's an emergency ward, so everybody has access to it. I was now asking everybody sitting around, did you see anybody coming in here? I said, no. I said, I was broken. Now, we never healed from that part, but when I got to know that, I lost her. So, committing suicide was an option. So when I was thinking, there's this popular water in my street, around back on my street, that a landwoman was so much depressed that he left his house and jumped into the water. I was strolling towards that place. Since everybody go die. Well, you two, what are you waiting for? I left the house.
Was it that day?
She died? The day she died, the next day, I woke up in the morning, greeted my friends, all of them, because I was staying at my place. Yeah. All of us wasn't staying at our place. Both me and her were staying at our friend's place. His dad is a pastor. My dad too was a pastor, so they were praying for her. So we just had to shift her. Since they said from spirit realm she shouldn't be at her house again, we should take her to another location. So we now did. Also, I just woke up and I told them, Baba, they come till we see again. Told my last one, Baba, you take care of yourself. None of that. And left the house. I was just strolling, going. I was just strolling.
You said you told them take care of yourself.
Sure.
And none of them
could actually. They wouldn't get. They didn't think about that. My dad was at home. And when I knew I went, I greeted him. So I said, they come. Say, how is she? How is your sister? I couldn't answer.
Yeah.
The news got to him. So to him, it was like a dream. So the next day, he asked me, how is she? Has she woken up? To be honest, I couldn't respond. I said, you see, these are the questions I can't answer. I just told him, they come. I'll come back when I'll see me. and I left. While I was strolling, and I heard her called my name again. Akwana Max. I broke down. I was already, like I left, I was strolling towards the place. I was strolling, going there. I don't know how to swim. So, before you say, okay, you go jump, you go now swim out. You decide to change your mind. It's a popular water around my area, around Bada area. They know a lot of people. There was a man that actually died at that place. They actually named the place, the man's name. I was the first person that actually died there. I remember from my local church there. So after we lost him, after I was going there and I heard this name, my first man came and they were now talking to me. And most of my friends they are good in cracking jokes. They now crack jokes around this scenario. We now laughed all together. Now we went back home, climbed the upstairs, and we were now sitting. We're now discussing. So that mindset alone, that mindset left me. After a very long while, after my friends were able to crack jokes around them, I was still around them. After a while, it still came. The sensation still came. Left the house again. Had to still come back. Before my friends that now told me that he saw my sister, she came around and she was standing by this exact spot and she was shedding tears. I was now saying, I wish I could see her. She now said, one of the things I could remember while I was sleeping, she appeared to me and said, why did I allow her to die? I said, I don't know. Because one of the things she told me was, please, she don't want to die. I told her, I promised her she won't die. I told her, I don't know. I can't tell. Because 1 minute she was alive, doing well. After the dialysis, she ordered for something to eat. The young guy with her went out to get something for her to eat. Coming back, find out that she's been covered. And they said she's dead. It's something they can't explain. I was not trying to. So I now saw more reasons why. Possibly she don't want me to. Because before, while she was at the hospital, she gave me a word like, please take care of your last born. That's why till tomorrow, that boy is my topmost priority. I can't play with him. Till tomorrow, told me, has he eaten? Please take care of him. So that was how I got to that point that, okay, committing suicide now left me. Because I was now encouraging people. And now I think I was having a little smartphone I was managing. I now posted on status, suicide is not an option. Suicide is not. That was the only way I could encourage myself. So if you that is encouraging people, telling people suicide is not an option, then you don't have to do it. Yeah. It was not bad on my status. There was time the same sensation came on me. I think, was it last year or a few years ago? I went back to my status and I stated suicide is not an option. And anytime I have that thing come on me, I'll go to my status. Suicide is not an option. I know I have a lot of people who wants to talk to me. Baba, what is happening? Hope you're good. I'm sure I'm good. So all of that occurred. And now, between 6 months, she died 2nd of November, if I could remember. 2nd of May. Within 4 to 5 months after I lost my mom, in Taba, we lost her. Instantly, my dad, I was managing his diabetes level, fell ill on his own. I don't know. It became another body on me. I was now rushing my dad to the hospital so much. I was now rushing him to the hospital and I couldn't help it. Rushing him to the hospital, ensuring he's fine, got his dialysis, got his, what's this injection? Got this is insulin. Mm-hmm. Like, there were a lot of things, like anything he wants, you have to, I'll get some. And that man that was helping us still stood and was actually showing his support. Yeah, yes. Yes. The person that paid her money for the operation is different from the person that actually paid money for my mom's operation. 2 persons. And this other person that paid for hers, till date, I haven't seen him. He's a footballer. I haven't seen him till date. Now, this one I paid for my mom too, till tomorrow, because obviously tomorrow I'll not be seeing him. I haven't seen him too, either. And he actually still stood by my dad. Still supporting. Go to the hospital. This is what the doctor said. Call him, just transfer, we'll set to the hospital. That's how we've been. Not until, that was around that 2020. It was so much on us, we couldn't bear. My dad had to say, okay, he's going to the village, and called all of us and gave us his counsel. Went to the village, didn't stay up to 2 months, which he went to the village. I was called upon that we lost him. So much on me. Then I was just coming out from my place of work. And the way the message was related to me, it was related with so much diplomacy and a lot of wisdom on it. And the person said, my closest friend, he said, that thing you believe about your dad and a lot of this, you believed well. It has actually happened. But you now man you be. You already done the runner. Take heart. I just screamed where I was. I say, why? Why me? Why me? All this. Like full from 2019, 2020, 2021, I never had a good time. Not at all. The meeting I was doing every month, every year, I couldn't do that meeting. So that's how it has really been on me. From one challenge to the other, that when we got to the next year, 2022, I was now scared who might likely be the next person. And I was telling God, I said, Lord, please, if death is moving around, please, if they want to take anybody, they shouldn't take anyone in my presence. They should take me first. So that the rest, when we go there, we'll not go out now to fight with them. That's how it has really been for us. The next year, another version happened. Huge version. Church we relied on, and so much. On the day of his wakekeeping, church came out boldly and said, the very day of his wakekeeping that we've been analyzing this thing, is your pastor. He's first your pastor before he became my father. Yes, he was first a pastor in that church before they gave birth to me. So he's first a pastor before he became. So it was their responsibility as the church to actually take care of his welfare, the burial, funeral, and all of that. The day of his wakekeeping was when the church deacon called me and said they've tried all their best, that they can't raise money for his wakekeeping. I said, are you serious? I said, why not going to tell me today? And already I've set my mind, I'll be traveling 2 days after that wakekeeping. I had to cancel the journey to 1 week after the wakekeeping. I have to. And God, I broke down. And I started calling friends. This one sent this amount, and I got some drinks. This one sent this amount, and I got some drinks. And I got chairs, and I got everything that was needed. And surprisingly, I sponsored that myself. And the best the church could raise for me was a token. Token that won't even take you to the village and bring you back. And that period I have 3 younger ones plus me, 4. And I have my friends, about 4 of them that decided to, those guys were people who stood by me all throughout, and they decided they would come with me. So most of them were students and they want to support. So it's, or maybe we have to balance everything. Transportation was about 100 plus for about 8 of us. And what I got from that wake and everything is not up to 100. It wasn't up to 100. For the wakekeeping of a state pastor who founded a church in Kano, who had branches around. Couldn't get. After we went for burial, we came back. I went to the village too. His family members did same. I'm the first son of my father, quite all right. Family members came, we had a meeting with our chief, and he said, okay, what did you guys bring for burial? I said, okay, we were able to bring onions and a full bag of rice. Okay, they asked the family, what are their supports? His elder brother, what is the support for the burial? The elder brother said, they came to join us to bury our father. I said, no, I came to join you to bury your own brother, that you are his father, because you are the eldest. That's how it was while we get to the village, we started sorting out for money. Me that had been in Kano all my life, born and brought up, while we went to the village, we started sorting out money. That day, I regretted the very day, like there was what the Job said, I regretted a bit the very day I was giving birth to. I entered Akwa Ibom, I didn't rest. I visited 4 to 5 churches that day of our local assembly that were there. And they said they are not aware they are burying this person on Thursday. I said, Jesus Christ, so what have they been doing? I had to beg them. They had to say, okay, if they are coming, we'll provide the vehicle. I said, Jesus. I said, fine, we'll provide the vehicle. What else do you guys want? They said it. We now said, okay, fine, we'll take our time, we'll do that. Then I said, first and foremost, we are bringing some certain amount, over millions. Maybe they earn about 30,000 that time. Me, I will bring 1 million. The other one will bring 800,000. The other one will bring about my last one. We see the primary school, they try one come and enter, see that one will bring 200,000. I nearly swear for them.
For where?
I didn't know. I nearly swear for them. God is my witness. I was totally broke. My friends were now encouraging me, Baba, do what you can do and live. And I told them, well, from where I came from, I don't believe in all this traditional stuff. My dad is a pastor. If they're burying him, you should bury him the simplest way to bury somebody is when I leave all those come and eat. You are mourning, you are not celebrating the dead. And I said, no, we just have to do one or two things. Before one of the brothers, the last born, had to support. The church now came. The church from the superintendent and one other person came, now got casket.
Sorry. Was your mom and your sister buried in the village?
No, my mom was actually buried in the village.
Okay.
Yes, my sister, she was buried in Kano. And my dad didn't actually attend her burial ceremony. I think my sister's burial was just people came around, honored on the waykeeping, just stayed more. The next morning, we actually went to the mortuary, picked up a casket, paid for the van, paid for a space at one of the Christian cemetery we have in Kano, went there, buried her. That was all.
And their families in the village, they were aware.
They were aware that we lost my younger sister.
They were still asking for all those huge sum amount.
When I tell you that people have bad character, you think I'm lying. They have a lot of bad characters. They have bad characters. I was shocked when I heard all of those stuff. Now, after the whole of it, coming back to Kano was another challenge. I began to call everyone I knew to help me with finance, to help me with money. So I'll come back to Kano because they gave me a deadline to resume my office. The office don't care if you lost person or not. Because they walk straight up. They will tell you, say, who you lost is not the first person. Actually, that people have been lost people. So you just have to walk. And they gave me a deadline. And I had to meet up with the deadline. I was looking for money. Thank God the church, the superintendent that came and others, they supported me with about 40,000. And I was looking for up to 100 plus. I start calling, hello sir, please, I beg. See where I did. This is it. God support. I had to call one of my colleagues I never knew will ever borrow me money. They haven't paid there too. I called, I said, please help me with this amount, please. She now sent the exact amount. She now sent the exact amount to me. That was how we go back to Kano. Not up to few months, because we buried him in November 2022. Yeah, buried him. Not up to few months. Last year, around May, thereabouts. I came back from work, I was sleeping, resting. Church member gathered themselves. More than 10 of them, they came to the house and they said something has been happening in church. I said, okay, that people usually break into the church and steal things. And all fingers were actually pointing to our house. I was speechless.
You said last year?
This is 2024, right?
Yes.
Yes. Last year. Last year. So you see, from 2019 till last year was really God's grace. That was actually, they came to their house and they said, well, I could remember last upper year, 2022, that was when we lost my dad now. So I didn't host any program. There's this usual meeting I host every year, so I didn't. So last year, while I was planning for the meeting, that was when they gathered themselves to the house and they said, all of finger pointing to your house. I said, I don't get. The same church my dad told me to take care of, to handle the church as a pastor. Will I now go back to the same church and be stealing from it? I don't understand. What then will I use to actually bless people's life? And you've known us in that church from when we were teenagers, we were growing up. And these things cannot happen with us. They said a lot of things. There was nothing these guys didn't say that day. I broke down. I said, this is my father's church. And before we lost my dad, this incident had been occurring. They record a lot of stealing coming. After my mom's were keeping, the next morning, they broke into the church and they stole. That was 2019 or thereabouts. Okay, 2020. Yeah, 2019, 2021. They broke into the church and they stole things. After my mom, we got a new item. They still broke in, they stole. My dad was still alive. So how then you guys will now come around to accuse me? Someone was now saying, if not God, that they will go to an herbalist, they'll now pin something and now do something.
Wait, is it church?
On Sunday morning, they said that. So I was surprised that very Sunday morning.
Okay.
The church people came to the house and they said a lot of things. Now, one of the persons they actually pointing and accusing finger was my very last born. The very last born. And I said, this guy has been with me for a very long while. And I've watched this guy closely. He's one person I can tell, understand everything that's been going on. So he won't want to engage himself into such acts. Now, how then did he get key to break? Because the church now, they didn't break into the church to steal. Like saying it was an opening, they opened doors. When I heard all of this, I broke down. I broke down. That same Sunday, I was going to church to preach. I came back from work. I didn't sleep. I was preparing a message. Pastor is going to church to preach. My God. Preparing message. And I brought that news. Someone was now saying, if not a prayer band leader.
Okay. Okay.
A prayer band leader was now saying that if not for God, that they'll just go to Dakata, they'll meet somebody, then they will now do something.
Do what?
And I turned and looked at him. I told him, if you not do that the way you won't do, then you will not be who you say you be. I became angry. And I had to speak out at that point because you cannot just leave wherever you are, come to my house and accuse me and my younger brother. You guys know every single thing we've actually been through from day one. I lost my mom, lost my younger sister, lost your own pastor. No one came to the pastor's house and accused his children. I said, okay, I don't forgive them. I said, let me go to church that day and let's see how we can settle everything. Let's go and see how we can settle everything. They were now emphasizing that they said they saw my brother. They did this, they did this. And I called my superintendent. What my superintendent told me is a word I will never forget. He said, there is no smoke without fire. I said, it's true. Now, who on the fire, we smoke come out, now we will find now. No, normally, I told him, he said, now who on smoke? Who on the fire smoke? We'll go find out. He was not even saying, okay, let me cite these people. No. He was just trying to be diplomatic in all of those scenarios. He was just so blunt with people. And I noticed where it's coming from. And I went to the church. I was now talking to them. They said they'll bring someone to come and put a bowl in the church, and they'll now put water. They'll now do a lot of things. And I told them from now on, I don't see me for you again. I told them a lot of things. I said, my dad, your pastor, will definitely fight over this case. I told them, left the church. Since I left that church, okay, that was 2022. Since I left that church till 2023, I never stepped my feet there. It happened around early May. Of 2022. Yes, I never stepped my foot there. Superintendent came to Kano. He wasn't looking as though he came to settle the whole issue. Because they were calling me to come back. They said I was guilty over everything. I said, God forbid. I told them, as honest as I could be, I told most of my friends. And I said, this is what I'm saying now. Okay, let's settle all of this. They said someone saw him. No doubt. They said they have a weakness. Am I right? No doubt, no problem. An applause for the weakness. Can you provide the weakness so that the weakness will come and testify that which he or she had seen? Then if the person come out boldly and testify, I saw him with my eyes, to God and man, I will replace everything. I will send an apology to the church. And if they decide to, okay, let me out of the church, I should go out of the church, I will go. Because it's obvious they don't want me to be in the church again. I told them I will do that. To be honest, I had to go to the assistant pastor's house. I sat down with him, and this guy was still saying the same thing the church was. I said, sir, now me I talk to you now one-on-one. You are the pastor, right? Me, I just said I'll work under you. I told you, work. You know, I was supposed to be on top, but you've been there for long. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'll be supporting you from my end. Sir, you can get to the root of this thing. Please they should provide who said this. And to God and man, whatever it will cost, I will replace everything from even the one they didn't steal. I told them, can I shock you? Till tomorrow, they've not called out the person. Even when my superintendent came, still made the same statement. And I told my superintendent, sir, the best way to settle all of this, thank God you are here. He still said there's no smoke without fire. I said, fine. Sir, this is in your power now. Tell them to provide who said this. They now said, when he told them, he agreed, told them. They now said, he now told them to provide who said that. They said they should forget about the person that was the weakness. They should forget about the person.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. To be honest, God bear me weakness, I lie not. They said, my superintendent came, I went to the hotel where he lodged. I had to get a one-on-one conversation with him. So that, sir, this is it. Thank God you understand from my own perspective. You understand me. If we do it this way, sir, whatever it is, before I leave the church, I'll just place a call to my friends. To my friends.
Yeah.
They will, each and every one of them will definitely come out. They will support me. With the little I have, we'll get everything that was missing in the church. Now, that will tell you how sincere I was and how certain I was that it wasn't my younger brother. So, until date, they haven't brought out the person. But to God, I still, most times when I am home, I'll just go and worship with them. And for good 1 full year, 2 years, I stopped going to church. Stop going to church totally. Stop. Because any church I decide to worship with, I don't feel anything. I'll just go. Stay a few minutes, I'll leave. I'll go. You only invite me for programs, I'll just come sit at the back and watch when I leave. Or I'll go to church, I'll crack jokes with friends and just be laughing and disturbing from behind. That's the best I was doing at that point. Stop going to church. And I went back to my beginning kind of lifestyle. Because I wasn't having time for God anymore, seeing what church did. And because I had to stand all alone to support every of my siblings. The 3 of them that were left. I was the only one working, earning 30,000. I needed to support the last born. Ensure he went back to school or he goes back to school. Ensure the 3rd born. They are all doing well. With 30,000 naira salary. And you could imagine how much I was spending on each and every day. I couldn't have anything to save. And on those periods, I had to determine within myself that I need to go back to school. I left secondary school. I stayed at home 9 years before now applying for another higher institution. 9 years. Yeah. I stayed 9 years. So I had to start pursuing all of these things. And one of the greatest excitement I'm having now is all of these were not in vain. Yeah.
It's God.
All of this were not in vain. By the grace of God, I think was it Saturday, I was able to round up with my ND first. And you could see how excited I was. You could see how excited I was that I actually did that. Till tomorrow, tell me I won't believe it. If you tell me there was a time for full 3 years I never had the intention of going back to school. I scrapped school out of my agenda. Oga, struggle. We must survive. Last few days, I just rounded up. And the excitement was so much. So much. And it has really been God all through.
Wow. I'm short of words, but I'll find the words. So, sir, how did you handle all of this? And not only how did you handle it, how did all of you handle
all of
this pain? And how did you build back
your
relationship with God?
Okay.
Because I know you're someone that don't joke with the things of God.
Okay. So you've been monitoring me.
No, I've not been monitoring.
No, it's fine. No, I'm kind of joking. Okay, I understand.
Okay, let me just ask those 2 questions.
Okay. How did
you handle those things? And you were able to overcome that thought of committing suicide. So how did you carry yourself and also your siblings?
Okay.
Because from the look of things, you were the only strength and support.
Yeah, that's what people were saying.
They had.
Even till tomorrow, there are families that when they look at me, just seeing me alone, I've heard a lot of it, just seeing me alone. They say, Baba, you are my encouragement. I will not be asking how it comes. To be frank, I lie not. God bear me weakness. Families today, when they see me, they say, you are my encouragement. Someone said, you are encouraging me in so many ways. And I said, oh, how? Why? But the person will not say anything. That's the only thing the person will tell me. So how I was able to overcome those pains, it's very complicated. It's personal. Like, it's based on dealings. Because I can't tell how, but I knew I overcome them. And one of it was I had friends around, good friends who could support.
Yeah.
See, one of the truths that you have friends and those friends can stand for you is when you're through pains. Yeah, when you're through pains. And they could stand for you no matter what. I tell you, my friends, they never left. They never for one bit left me. The very day I lost my dad, before I left my office to the house, they were already at my house waiting for me. As soon as I came in, neighbors, they came already, they were crying. They were telling them, no. Ingo, now when you come in, they laugh now. Ingo start to cry. There's a lot of that. They took me from the house that day. Let's take a walk outside. They never gave me this breathing space.
Yes.
This breathing space to actually think about anything.
Like leaving you all to yourself.
No, they didn't do a bit of, they didn't. Even my siblings, I was able to call them. That same day that I said, see, when I don't hear anything happen, please, let's put ourselves together. Younger ones now, at that point, nothing really to concern them. There's so much concern about themselves. But my last one was crying because I actually know what it was. So my younger brother my last one being broken over the whole scenario got me broken too. I had to speak to him and had to talk to him, encourage him and say all of this happens for a reason. So we just have to trust God, what God is doing. And the funniest part of it is when I lost my dad, the next Sunday I still went to church, I preached. When I lost my mom, my dad couldn't go to church to preach. I still went, I preached. When I lost my sister, the next Sunday, I was now the encouragement people were saying. No. I went, ministered to God's people. I was encouraging them. I said, if all of this are happening and I'm still sharing God's words to you, that means there's what God is actually preparing for you. Me, I don't know. I spoke to them, encouraged them throughout all of those scenarios before the church now started fighting back against. And one of the things they were actually aiming was possibly to have the church to themselves. When you're coming from a local church, you definitely know. As soon as the state pastor dies, everybody wants to become a leader. And that is what is happening now.
Up until now.
Till tomorrow. Because I've been there now. I've seen, there's one person who call Mr. Mike. His name is not Michael. We'll call him Mr. Mike. He's so much used to, they release Mike.
You like Mike?
Yeah. So even when my assistant pastor told them, okay, fine, you're having a program. Elijah will be coming to minister. They were asking why, how. And I told them that if I come here, they pursue me. And I came, collected the mic. I ministered. I left. If you pain them, stop me for road, beat me. No problem. So before I went, I told my friend, I said, oh, see. The guy is still dragging Mike with the...
like Mike.
Brother, no. It was my friend that gave him that name, Brother Mike. And to be honest, if I go to church, Brother Mike, that's fine. As simple as that. So how I was able to skill through of that was so much encouragement for friends.
And the relationship with God, experiencing those things from church, and you trusted God, said you were
like I was.
And all these things were happening.
And
like I said, and you said I'm monitoring you. I'm not, but
no, understand.
You see, the first day I met you,
okay,
you're this jovial person.
Oh.
There's no dull moment with you. And I didn't know you went through all of this. So how did you build back
well,
fire?
How I built back the fire was I had to associate myself with people of like passion. And I made a vow to my younger sister when she passed on. I said, on that day she told me, you don't backslide. I told myself, nothing will make me look back, although I did. But that vow I made to her became my standpoint that at any time I want to do anything, I'll look back. I made a promise to this person. Like this, they say anybody who that died, they watch you, they watch anything they do. So I don't promise, I'm making them proud. So my sign out, I wrote their names on the shirt. I said, I promised you, I'll write her name, write my dad's name. That's it. So how I got back on my feet was, one, I made a vow that I couldn't break a vow. Two, I had supportive friends. I had two sets of friends. One of them, the friends who built me up from the scratch into a career, like who they believed in what we were three built up. And so those ones, they were spiritual and they were also, they can balance life. Not that they were bad people, no. We could sit and we could talk, or like talk randomly. A lot of things. They were my childhood friends. Now there was this breed of friends I later met. Whereby when I was going through all of that, now they now stepped in. How they came in is what I can't tell you today. But now I realized they came in when the fire was so fierce. The challenge became serious. That's where they came in. So they had been my support system. From there, the other ones, they were also playing their role. Now, these ones, they were serious spiritual brothers. So there's not how you stay with them that you not catch the fire. The other ones too, they had fire. Like, they were so much in God. We go for administration. I do stage drama. So those ones, when they go, we get administration, we'll go. Those ones, Alpha, we are praying today. Let's do the prayer. Pray. Let's go and pray. We'll now pray. We'll now engage ourselves in prayers. After that, they'll now tell me whatever you want, please talk to us. And since that day, there had never been anything I lacked being around this set of friends. I just knew I was blessed having this set of guys and this set of guys. I know I'll never remain small. If I decide remaining small, it's my choice.
True.
And like I was saying today, I said, in all of these things, God is actually taking me through. It was this year, around this month, I now got a response to it. I said, God, what are you really doing? And I said, He actually gave me that grace to go through all those crises of life, so that my crying will cease when I get to the top. That's only if I have Christ. Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men to myself. Jesus never said, come to heaven and lift me up, or draw men to. In the midst of those challenges you are going through, if God is still seen in that picture, He picks up your story for His glory. That's what, and so that had been what had been keeping me. Each and every day, to be honest, I line up each and every day. Most times I sit. That's why I don't like being alone. People complain, you don't stay at home. I don't. If I stay at home, the memories of these people comes to my mind. Each and every, if I decide to stay alone, I'll stay and I'll be crying. We shed so much tears. You know, if my mom and dad actually passed away, it's fine. I have someone who could stay, who could support. Okay, we could join hands together, support, because I can't get sense while growing. So we could join hands together. Now you lost mom, sister, that you had to, I was now starting all afresh. So most of the times, there are times I could just stay and nothing is working. Just stay, nothing is working. And my last one will call me because I never eat. Just broke down. Just stay. I couldn't say what. I said, no worry, just give me time. That give me time. That boy will now manage to sleep like that. He understands that his elder brother is not having and no support system coming. People I felt from my father's till today, none of them from that side had actually called, like, okay, let me see, how are you guys faring? It got up to a point that one of them, my aunt, my dad's sister, that one of the daughter came to Kano unannounced. I welcomed her in my house. She stayed, dropped something. She said she went out. I think she traveled back, came back, said my younger ones actually took her phone and her milk. I said, how comes? Are you sure you kept them in this house? If you kept them in this house, nobody will touch your things. Because I've been using it for nobody. She spoke a lot, did a lot of drama. The next thing I'll find myself was I see not this girl. Wallahi, I see not this girl. I see myself for police station. My younger sister, like my dad's last born, their daughter, first daughter, came, took my family to station. And I told the police not to involve any of my family member. Those ones, I can handle it. That was how serious it was. From then, I told them nobody should come to my house again and stay. I stayed in station for good 7 to 8 hours. good 7 to 8 hours. That's when I stayed in the station. Everybody I knew I could call for help. It was my friends. Because I don't like bothering them. For a company lesson, I only me get challenge pass. That's true. I don't like bothering them. So I now call them. Then I say, Abba, why happened like that? Waiting. Before I heard, one person say, they should go and ask how much is the phone. They asked, how much is the mic? They asked, then I bought all of them. Then I came to the station. Because I had to sign an undertaking that the next day I'll bring it. To tell you, if I didn't do all of that, I was definitely sleeping in the cell. She left. I had to do all of that. They went to the market. They got it. They brought it. The girl said that phone is not her phone. She wants her exact phone. She wants her exact phone and the milk. Till today, as I'm talking to you.
Milk.
Yes, milk. Is it milk or custard? Any of them, milk. Yes. I tell you, till today, can I surprise you? Those things are still in the station. No, today. Okay, today is till tomorrow. Yeah, those things are still in the station because when I brought all of those things back, I presented them to them. She said, this is not her phone. She wants an exactly kind of phone that this milk, where this milk is not where her milk was, this and that. The police people, they got angry. She left the station. She went home. That's how she left Kano. Till today, as I'm talking to you, I was supposed to go back to the station I didn't go again. Till today, that milk is still the police station. I think around March. Yeah. This year, March.
Yeah.
That's when every of these things happened. So, how I came over all of this was having people who could support me. Having people around.
Having good people.
Not just people, yeah. Good people. And like till tomorrow, like I said, there's nothing of them. They are not really that, but they have these hearts to support. They have this heart to support. They assist me, seeing me through. They said, you must definitely finish school. You must definitely go to institution. They assured me that. And one of the first way to keep up to this, my godfather called me. What's the plans for school? I went to learn like 2-3 times. This is my plan for school. Not until I got serious. And how I got serious is I had to save the money for my education by myself first. Because once I have okay, forgive me. Let me use this word. I like using the word. It's a very flexible word for me. Not really a bad character, but something that looks like bad character. If someone pays that money for me, I will not be serious over it. So I had to struggle out to use the last one I had on my account, send to the school. I had someone who was actually running, send it to him, guy and process everything. That was the beginning of my seriousness. When it was next semester for me to pay, I was not having a dime. I just placed call CCC. It was settled. Up until I rounded up my first face. Yeah. It's really huge, right?
It's very huge.
Yeah. The truth is, a lot of people are going through a lot.
A lot.
And one of the things they do is they actually cover it with smile. I have a woman who has lost about 4 of her kids.
And she's still standing strong.
Now they stand, I don't know. Because the last time I went to her, she was sitting.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. At some part, I almost got teary.
I actually noticed that.
I said, no, swallow it up. Don't cry. So, thank you so much.
I'm honored. So all of this is for a reason.
Yeah.
All of this is for a reason. I don't know what God is doing, but I know He's actually doing something positive. If He said, the thought I have towards you are of good, not of evil, to bring you to an expected end, then definitely God will not lie over that. It's not a man that He should lie, not the son of man that He should repent of His word. Have I not said? So meaning, if it was man that had this plans for me, definitely a man will lie someday. Men lies. But God, the word of God is standard sure. So what is keeping me? Are the promises of God. Yeah. If this is what, like every day, I keep telling myself, if this is what God said about me is true, then that's where I'm heading to.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot, and I believe our viewers, you too.
Yeah, surely.
If you shouldn't feel
because you've gone through something similar to his, you should give up. Don't give up. Still, this is a story. This is an encouragement for you.
Okay, so I'm encouraging people. Oh, please, I'm encouraging you. Please encourage yourself.
So stand strong. And you see that part of having good people around.
Yeah.
Yes, that part is very important.
You see, I didn't mention the part that I had a lot of friends initially while growing up. But to be frank, I just have close to 4 friends or 5 good friends now.
We need to call you for another session because if we want to keep on going on and on, we will not finish.
No, definitely, please.
Wow.
The numbers of times I've actually lost my loved ones. Now, from my very first elder sister, the one I was actually following, she died. All right. The number of times I've actually lost my family members. My other sister died around 1999, thereabouts. Now, after that, there was a very long space, not until 2019, that I lost my mom, 2019, November 31st. After that, within the space of 6 months, from where I lost my mom, 6 months, May 2nd, I actually lost my younger sister. That should be around 2nd of May, 2020. So from that 2nd of May, it was 1 full year interval. Because I could remember the day I went to honor my younger sister, 2nd of May, at the cemetery where we buried her. It was that same year, that same day. That day I was actually sharing with my friends that I've not heard from my dad for quite a couple of times. And I've been trying to reach him, he's not picking up. And nobody's telling me anything from the village. Hope he's fine. So I was the last person who saw him before he traveled to the village. So from that period to when I lost my dad was complete 1 year. Because it was on the 2nd of May, 2021, they told me that I lost my dad is late. My dad was going to be with the Lord. So I don't know when he died before that time, but I think it should be around approximately a week before that period. But when I got the news was 2nd of May, 2021.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode on the Life Podcast topic on spoken stories of loss and healing. I believe you've learned. I believe you've picked 1 or 2 things. And I want to emphasize on that part where he said he had good people, not just people, but good people. And these people made him had meaning or see meaning to life again. So, in all you do, if you're this kind of person that I want to be by myself or I want to be nobody, please try to have people, not just people, good people around you. So thank you so much. Thank you for staying on to the end of the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do so by just hitting on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell. So all of the videos that we posted, you'll be notified. Also follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Stay blessed and God bless you.
Thank you so much.